Roller derby is played in increments called jams. Each jam lasts up to 2 minutes. Both teams field up to 5 skaters at the start of the jam. 4 of these skaters are called blockers, and 1 is called the jammer. The jammer wears a helmet cover with a star on it and scores points for the team. The blockers are playing both offense and defense at the same time, and together they make up what is called the pack. The 2 jammers start each jam behind the pack and must get through all of these skaters for an initial pass before they can begin to score points. When the initial pass is complete, a jammer can score 1 point for every opponent they pass with their hips. The first jammer out of the pack legally is declared lead jammer, which means they can end the jam anytime they want before the 2 minutes are up. Sounds easy, right?
Furious. Woo. All right, now that I have the formalities out of the way, let's go ahead and bring out our 2 teams. Mic checks. Who you got?
Derby fans, can I have you please put your hands together to welcome the team in red and checkers, the Breakneck Betties! Skating tonight for the Breakneck Betties, number 125 pounds tooth. Number 16, Beyond Thunderdame. Number 21, Tenacity. Number 300, Carl. Number 31, Toxic Haste. Number 319, Belita Kahlo. Number 340, Ovarian Barbarian. Number 666, Smelter Skelter. Number 700, Spring Roll. Number 71, Danger Potato. Number 816, Cruella. Number 9, Your Mom's Favorite. Number 93, Fira Neres. And the captain, number 25, Gingeraf. Fans, give it up for the Breakneck Betties! The Betties tonight are coached by Ripley, Mr. Wubbs, and JMFK.
All right, it's time to bring out the skaters in gold and green. It's your High Rollers. Skating for the High Rollers, number 00, Dakota Evans. 1979, Lurs Lemon. 231, Ebenezer Bruce. Number 25, Crimson Wave. Number 28, Minstrel Psycho. Number 3, Polly Wannacracker. 30, Pixie. 360, Big Bang Fury. 39, Diana Hitcha. 423, Nuga Knockout. 48, Brute. 483, Doof Warrior. Number 5, Ditch Witch. 7, Kassassin. And 911, Mayday. Get your hands together for your High Rollers! All right, Derby fans, we got a great game lined up here tonight. I'm excited. Both these teams coming in here looking to play some heavy-duty derby. Last time these two teams made, it was a very small score separating them. So, quick show of hands. How many of you, is this your first time watching derby? Raise your hand if this is your first time in the building.
Oh, I don't see any newbies.
Oh, wow.
Maybe one.
Yeah, a couple of you. Well, me and Mike Checks are going to do some Derby one-on-one. We'll do a little bit of talking about how Derby works, what the positions are, and how we score points. Hopefully by the end of our couple first jams, you'll know what we're talking about, and we're going to have ourselves a great game.
This first jam, we're going to focus on the skaters with the stars on their helmets. Those are the jammers. And for the Betties, that is Carl out front. Carl has gained lead jammer. Carl got through the pack first, passing all of the opposing blockers.
Now, as a jammer, they are the ones that score the points, and for every opposing blocker they pass on their second time around, those count as a point. Every additional lap they do and pass additional blockers from the opposing team, each one of those passes count as points for every blocker they pass.
So in that last jam, Carl picked up 2 points for the Breakneck Betties and then called off the jam. When you are the lead jammer, that is one of the things that you get to do is you can end a jam by repeatedly tapping your hips.
The whole reason they do that, Mike Checks, is it puts them in control of the jam. So really, it's a control mechanism where the first jammer out is basically in control of the gameplay.
And that first jammer out this jam was Lures Lemon for the High Rollers. Spring Roll, the jammer for the Breakneck Betties, currently in the penalty box, serving a 30-second penalty.
So what that means is right now the Breakneck Betties are not going to be scoring any points. Lures Lemon, only jammer out there in the power jam, and that gives the High Rollers an opportunity to put all the points on the board.
Oh. So Lures Lemon now, having completed a scoring pass, picks up 4 points for the High Rollers.
Lures Lemon engaged in the pack, finds a big open hole, runs to freedom, and picks up all 4 points.
Spring Roll headed back to the penalty box for a track cut penalty. That will be another 30 seconds of penalty to serve.
Lures Lemon right now trying to fight their way out of the pack. Looks like a forearm penalty. That will be picked up on Bleda Callow.
So when a skater picks up a penalty, they are sent to the penalty box immediately where they will serve a 30-second penalty. After serving that time, they are allowed back into gameplay.
Oh, look at that. Lures Lemon came in a little hot, and that was actually great positional blocking by the Breakneck Betties. They got right in front of Lures Lemon, and when they hit, they forced a back block call. So we're going to have a jammer do-si-do, and Lures Lemon will be in the penalty box and giving up a power jam.
Since the lead jammer went to the penalty box in this jam, there is no lead jammer any longer. That means this jam will go for a full 2 minutes.
Spring Roll out on their initial pass. Comes in very hard and hits that wall, knocking it around. 2 points being put on the board for the Breakneck Betties.
You'll notice that Lures Lemon still in the penalty box for the High Rollers. If you accrue a penalty during a jam and cannot serve the entirety of that penalty during that jam, you're forced to stay in that box until you can serve that full time.
Yeah, penalties, they can have physical penalties where you make contact with another skater and cause a penalty, or you can have track penalties where perhaps you cut the track by stepping out of bounds and entering illegally.
Well, in addition to the jammers out there, there are 4 other skaters for each team out there. Those are the blockers. They are designing to play offense and defense at the same time. Betty's blockers out front trying to hold back Lures Lemon.
Wow, tenacity with a great hold on and guide out of bounds on Lures Lemon. That was vicious.
So the blockers are simultaneously trying to stop the opposing jammer while also trying to help their jammer through the pack.
As you can see right there, Big Bang Fury playing some offense for her jammer, trying to knock that wall apart and help her jammer through.
Everybody hung up in turn 2 right now. Pack at a near standstill.
That's just a product of good blocking right there. Both these teams very strong defensively.
Danger Potato clear on the initial pass for the Betties.
Big Bang Fury picking up a cut track, and Mayday also picking up an infraction. Both of them will have a seat in the penalty box.
Nice footwork by Danger Potato through the pack for 4 points for the Betties. Tenacity trying to play offense on the inside.
Lurs Lemon is your lead jammer, finally finds a way through on the inside. Minute and a half almost went by, and finally we got a lead jammer out of this.
Danger Potato clears the pack for 4 more points. Lurs Lemon fights off all of the Betties defense and clears for 4.
Ginger Raff did a great job sweeping to the outside. Somehow Lurs Lemon managed to bounce off the back of Ginger Raff to stay in bounds. One point at the end of that being picked up. That is going to be, well, High Rollers holding on to that lead. They've got a score of 17. Breakneck Betties did a great job catching up. They got a score of 16.
The largest selection of new and used autos in the Pacific Northwest is only a click away. Check it out at Tonkin.com.
Carl out on the track going up against Assassin, who is just like that, your lead jammer for the High Rollers.
Whistles down in the first. Apex track cut penalty being whistled, and that is going against Carl.
Lots of penalties on jammers to get this game started. Assassin wiggles their way through at the straightaway there, picks up 4 points on that scoring pass.
Betty's now losing a blocker to the penalty box. High Rollers with a 4-3 advantage in the pack.
Wow, Beyond Thunderdame with a strong move. So strong it took them right off their skates and left them on the ground in the straightaway.
Assassin back in, trying to plow through the Betty's defense at the front of the pack. Your mom's favorite gives chase, but Assassin through for 4 points.
We've got a star pass Beyond Thunderdame now with the star. In the game of Derby, if you are the pivot, you can take the star from the jammer and then become the jammer. Although you will not be eligible for lead jammer status if you do that.
Hey, Derby fans, don't forget Underwood wines are now available down at the bar. Single serving cans of Pinot Noir, Pinot Gris, or a double serving can of Rosé Bubbly. Check it out down at the bar.
Rosé Bubbly.
Bubbly.
Spring roll down on the jam line with star on their helmet for the Breakneck Betties, and Polywana Cracker out there for the High Rollers.
Polywana Cracker finds room on the outside of the front straightaway. Quick lead jammer for the High Rollers.
Excellent wall work by the High Rollers. Spring roll barely able to get past turn number 1.
Polywana Cracker again to the outside, clears on a scoring pass. 4 points for the High Rollers.
Polywana Cracker finding an opening on the outside, almost made it around that apex, ends up taking a step out of bounds and has to go back and start again.
Spring roll clears on the initial pass. High Rollers decide to call off the jam after their 4 points.
Hey, we'd like to thank the Jam on Hawthorne for sponsoring our jammer line this evening. Once again, that's the Jam on Hawthorne.
Always somebody to start wrapping a little nucleus there with a jam on it. And on the line right now, we have both jammers out there, and I'm sorry, that looks like Nuga Knockout. Yes, it is. Going up against Danger Potato.
Nuga Knockout rolling to the outside. Brute trying to play offense up front. Ditch Witch to the penalty box for the High Rollers.
It's like a low block call being called on Ditch Witch.
Nice containment defense in the backfield by the High Rollers. Danger Potato having a hard time working against that braced wall back there.
Yeah, but up front, Tenacity and Beyond Thunderdame really working over Nuga Knockout, finally taking them out of bounds and taking them all the way back to turn 2.
Pixie with a nice job cycling up, now bridging out the pack for the High Rollers as they try and continue to contain Danger Potato.
Excellent work by Brute, continuing to work over Danger Potato. And there's a full company. Dakota Evans not letting them go either.
Toxic Haste to the penalty box for the Breakneck Betties, going to be joined by Dakota Evans of the High Rollers.
Your mom's favorite also headed to the penalty box on an infraction.
Pack thinning out, but setting up camp in the first turn. Beyond Thunderdame, a recycling Nuga Knockout.
And finally, we've got a lead jammer after about a minute and 20 seconds of brutal defense. And that's an unusual call-off, but I think it's pretty smart. It's going to put the High Rollers in a position to have a blocker advantage, and the Breakneck Betties will only have 2 blockers being fielded on the track.
Hey, your local neighborhood plumbing company and proud sponsor of Rose City Rollers is Black Cat Plumbing.
Lurs Lemon again on the line, going up against Carl in this next jam.
And it's Lurs Lemon on the outside, picking up lead jammer for the High Rollers.
High Rollers really have got a strong wall. Carl having a hard time getting out of that pack. Ebenezer Brews and Big Bang Fury just really setting a vicious wall up.
Nice exit hit there by Gingiraffe. That helps allow for a star pass now to Tenacity.
Lurs Lemon ends up going down, calls off this jam, but does pick up 4 points before this jam comes to an end. We got a lead of 41-16, and I do believe a timeout is being called by the Breakneck Betties.
All right, timeouts are being brought to you this evening by Trailhead Credit Union. Don't forget to check out our friends over at Trailhead Credit Union, home of the 3% interest checking account.
That's a great rate right now in these certain times and days. And if you have not belonged to a credit union, I strongly suggest it. In my opinion, it is better than a bank.
And don't forget, fans, if you're out drinking a Rose City sponsored beverage or maybe grabbing some food, show our sponsor some love on social media and tag your photos with the hashtag RCR sponsor. You'll then be entered to win a pair of VIP tickets to one of our upcoming games.
All right, this timeout is just about up. We've got Spring Roll down on the line for the Breakneck Betties star on their helmet, and they will be going up against Polywana Cracker. Wow! Polywana Cracker so quick. Just seemed to fly right up that inside line.
Pack set up at the first apex. Polywana Cracker back in, working on a scoring pass now for the High Rollers. Blita Kahlo to the penalty box for the Breakneck Betties, and Polywana Cracker through the pack. 4 points for the High Rollers.
Spring Roll still trying to fight their way out of the pack in the straightaway. Ends up picking up a high block. Polywana Cracker right now in a power jam. Gets through and calls it off after picking up 4 points. I don't think they realized they were in a power jam.
Hey, this fast and furious derby action is making me thirsty. What do you guys think about heading down to the bar and grab yourself a Ninkasi Prismatic IPA or perhaps a Pacific Rain Pale? Don't forget to go on down to the bar. They also have damn fine cider made right here in the Pacific Northwest. That's Two Town cider.
I'll take one of all of the above, please.
All of the above.
All of the above. Kassassin, only jammer out there on the track right now for the High Rollers.
Betties fans, you're going to need to cheer on your blockers right now. They've only got 2 out there on the track, and they are going to have to hold back Kassassin.
Well, Tenacity right now doing a fine job. Gingiraffe is the GOAT in the back. Finally, Kassassin does get out, though.
Penalty box slowly emptying for the Betties. Kassassin back in the pack, working on a scoring pass for the High Rollers.
Spring Roll has served time, is back out there, but has to now contend with that very strong High Roller wall.
Finds room on the outside and clear on the initial pass.
Kassassin does go down a little awkwardly, calling the jam off. Picks up 4 points, and we will go on to the next jam.
Helping you be more awesome in your work, sport, and life. That's WSL Leadership Coaching.
Yes, indeed. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to the raffle folks down in front. They are. We've got a great raffle basket over there. It's got some fantastic prizes valued at over $350. So if you want some raffle tickets, wave one of those nice folks down. They're going to get you all hooked up.
Carl with the star of this jam for the Breakneck Betties opposite Nuga knockout. Carl knocked to the outside by Pixie.
Beautiful defense being set up right now by the High Rollers. Dakota Evans not letting anyone pass on that inside line.
Brute up playing offense for the High Rollers beyond Thunder Dame, keeping Nuga knockout. Held for a moment, but Nuga knockout clear now. Lead jammer for the High Rollers.
Dakota Evans still all over Carl. And Carl not making it barely past the apex. And, oh, no, that's Pixie picking up a forearm call.
Carl being waved back on the track. Carl thinking that penalty was assessed.
Well, we've got 2 strong walls being set right now in turn number 2. Both of these jammers looking for an exit plan.
Tenacity trying to hold back Brute's offense. Carl now clear on the initial pass for the Betties.
Oh, beautiful little bit of offense played there, but Ginger Raff quickly slipped around and stuck the hole and held everything down there.
Hey, we'd like to thank a couple of our sponsors, Myopic Optometry and Portland Vital Signs.
High Rollers right now the score of 61, scoring 8 points in that last jam. Breakneck Betties at 18, only having 2.
Danger Potato jamming again for the Breakneck Betties.
That is one of my favorite names right now in Derby, Danger Potato.
Lures Lemon with the star and bowls past Tenacity, picking up lead jammer.
Everybody seems to be crammed on the, inside. Everything was open for about a half a second. Lures Lemon took the inside line, and Danger Potato somehow exited on the inside.
Nice job by Tenacity, cycling back up front, trying to contain. Joined by Smelter. Skelter there on defense for the Betties.
That was beautiful defense by them.
Let Deb guide you home. Proud realtor sponsor of the Rose City Rollers. Check it out at welcometopdx.com.
Spring Roll once again down on the lawn. Is that Polly want a cracker again? Nope. Oh, Crimson Wave. My apologies, folks. Crimson Wave out there for the High Rollers.
Brace 2 all in the backfield for the Betties. Spring roll through, lead jammer, Breakneck Betties.
They desperately needed that. Looks like your mom's favorite, though, picking up a multiplayer block. We'll spend some time in the penalty box.
Multiple whistles down in the first apex. Pixie headed to the penalty box for the High Rollers. And Ditch Witch on a forearm penalty.
Brute now with the cap. There was a star pass. Brute looking for an opportunity to score, and just in time, the Breakneck Betties do call off that jam after picking up 4 points.
John's Landing favorite eatery and saloon is the Buffalo Gap.
Yeah. Hey, on your way out tonight, if you want to swing across the bridge and pick up an ice cold beer, that's the place to go.
Oh, they have good sandwiches there too. Buffalo Gap.
Well, I might have got along last time, but Polly want a crackers out there now. Going up against Carl.
Micro pack to start, both teams with 2 blockers in the penalty box, and lead jammer already been declared. Polly want a cracker is your lead jammer.
Oof.
Carl clear on the initial pass as well.
I like the fact they're going to let them play instead of calling it off. They need to get their blockers back out of the track so they can fortify their defense.
Big Bang Fury with a big hit going into turn one. Polywana Cracker threw 4-point scoring pass for the High Rollers.
Big Bang Fury had another vicious hit on the inside, but picks up a forearm and will spend some time in the penalty box.
Polywana Cracker low on the inside of the first apex, squeezes through for 4 points. Carl clear on a 4-point scoring pass for the Betties.
What a great move, a nice hit, got them all to commit, hit the inside line, and is free to pick up those 4 points. Polywana Cracker having a great game with 12 right now in this jam.
What was most impressive about that is Polywana Cracker basically played their own offense right there. Low to the outside, 4 more points, putting on a clinic right now.
That patented low outside move.
Yeah, get low and be fast. This time Ginger Raff says, "You shall not pass," shuts him down at the top of the apex. Polywana Cracker go ahead and calls it off. And we're gonna have a official review down there on the track. You know, something I do want to point out, so far this season in 2020, Polywana Cracker with 206 points on the season, averaging 4.5 points per jam. It's pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive. Don't forget some more awesome derby tomorrow night, roller derby fans. Right here at the Hangar, we'll have our undefeated Guns and Rollers so far this season, taking on the Heartless Heathers. Again, that's tomorrow night right here at the Hangar. Be sure to join us.
So the Breakneck Betties taking an official review. Each team granted 1 official review per half. If the referee crew finds that the Betties official review is accurate, they will retain that official review for the remainder of the half. If the referee crew decides that they were not in error, then the Betties will lose that official review.
Breakneck Betties are looking for a cut call on the High Rollers jammer in the last jam.
Very interesting, cut call track. I'm curious where they saw that. I might have been on the outside when they got low and made it through that apex turn. So I'll be interested to see what the referees and what the officials decide to come up with on this call.
There's some more awesome derby coming up, fans. Our annual junior derby tournament, Bridge City Riot, is just around the corner, coming up on March 28th and 29th. 2 epic days of apt.
Upon review, we observed that the wheel stayed on the tape and no cut call was observed. Therefore, the Betties will not retain their official review for the first half.
Nice job, Crispy. All right. So derby will resume. No penalty will be assessed. I see Tenacity down there. First time on the line with a star on their helmet for the Breakneck Betties. And they will be going up against Kassassin.
Empty penalty box to start this 14th jam.
Oh, Kassassin found a little bit of an opening on the outside, but ends up getting grabbed and stuck in that pack.
Few skaters down in the backfield. Kassassin escapes the pack first with lead jammer for the High Rollers.
Tenacity does find an opening and jumps to freedom in the straightaway, but has about a half a lap to get around to catch up.
High Rollers send up active offense. Kassassin picks off 2 points before calling off the jam.
That was great track awareness. Looked over their shoulder to see where the rest of where the other jammer was. Decided to go for at least 1 or 2 more, and did. Successfully picked up another point.
Hey, I just wanted to finish telling you about that juniors tournament. 2 epic days of action with teams from Santa Cruz, Fort Collins, and Seattle. Come check out the future of roller derby. Once again, that's the end of the month, March 28th and 29th. Tickets available at rosecityrollers.com.
Nuga Knockout and Danger Potato. Those are your jammers out there right now.
Nuga Knockout, a forearm penalty.
Yeah, Danger Potato found the light of day on the outside in turn 1 to become your lead jammer. Danger Potato came in pretty hot, found the inside, but it was completely locked down. Right now bouncing around in turn 2, and they're out, picking up 4 points.
Diana Hitch into the penalty box for the High Rollers. Betty's active on offense.
Beautiful job. Houndstooth actually held that last line of defense, pressing them to the outside and opening the in for their jammer to get free.
Ginger shuts off the inside lane and also plays a little bit of offense. Danger Potato through for 4.
Absolutely beautiful play there by Danger Potato. That was just a nice little nudge and move to get through. Nuga Knockout finally out on their initial pass. Oh!
What an amazing jam for the Breakneck Betties, 16 points.
Hey, the friendly people at Echo Construction love custom home building, remodels, and roller derby. Once again, that's our good friends at Echo Construction.
Well, that was one heck of a last jam for the Breakneck Betties. They definitely needed those 16 points to kind of claw their way back in there. Right now they're down by 39, but as you know in the game of Derby, that's just them getting warmed up, and they're going to have a quick turnaround.
Nice job by the Breakneck Betties getting spring roll through for lead jammer. That while being down 2 blockers to start this jam.
Oh, and Lures Lemon finding an opening, does a nice little twist on the inside, ends up skating backwards through the to get through on their initial.
Beyond Thunder Dame to the penalty box for the Breakneck Betties.
Spring roll does call that off. Picks up a couple. Looks like 3 points being picked up. That was, once again, good defense to lock them down.
Nice little positional blocking there by Houndstooth at the end of that jam to keep from any more points being scored.
Hey, we'd like to thank a couple sponsors while we got a minute here. Shebop and K's Bar.
Polly Want a Cracker and Carl are your jammers. Polly Want a Cracker, so quick to maneuver laterally to get out of this pack. They're your lead jammer.
Whew. Direction of play penalty on Minstrel Psycho, who is reporting to the penalty box. Carl clear on the initial pass.
Forearm penalty is being called on a player out on the track.
Looks like Big Bang Fury reporting to the penalty box.
I believe that's who it is. No.
Nope.
Either way, the High Rollers are going to have 2 blockers sitting in the penalty box. It's going to make it an easier pack for the Breakneck Betties jammer to get through. Looks like Danger Potato once again is going to be out there taking advantage of that. But Kassassin wisely starts playing defense to help her blockers out.
Danger Potato gets around Brood at the front of the pack, clear for lead jammer. Kassassin clear on the initial pass, giving up about a quarter track.
Your mom picking up another forearm penalty. Your mom is racking up some penalties right now in this first half. 4 points being picked up by the Breakneck Betties, though, as they continue to creep closer in this game.
Portland's best vegan-friendly, booze-friendly, kid-friendly, omnivore-friendly, everybody-friendly breakfast is sponsored by our sponsor for the jam line this afternoon, Jam on Hawthorne.
Jam on it.
Jam on Hawthorne.
You know, everything you said sounded really good, and they're friendly about it.
And you want to get there early because they have long lines.
Team timeout being called by the High Rollers.
All right, this timeout being brought to you this evening by Trailhead Credit Union. And this music minute being brought to you by our epic DJ, Daniel Slay Lewis.
Ah, yeah. One of the best in the business right here at the Rose City Rollers.
Don't forget to join us, Derby fans, at Voodoo Donuts on Northeast Davis on March 24th. For every donut sold that day, 50 cents will be donated to the Rob Lobster Memorial Scholarship Fund. And who doesn't like donuts?
Who doesn't like Rob Lobster? I'll go eat a dozen.
I know. Rob Lobster, donuts. What more?
Spring roll back out to jam for the Breakneck Betties.
Lurs Lemon getting escorted to the inbounds by Beyond Thunderdame. Oh, and wow, there was just the tiniest little sliver of an opening. Lurs Lemon is your lead jammer.
Spring roll now clear on the initial pass, giving up about a quarter track.
Oh, wow. Little bit of offense played by actually the high rollers. Diana Hitcha trying to open something up for their jammer. Ended up opening it for Spring Roll, and Spring Roll had an easy pass.
Nice job by your mom out of the penalty box in playing offense, leading Spring Roll through the pack. Another 4 points for your Breakneck Betties.
Direction of play penalty. That's going to be called on. Oh, Beyond Thunderdame headed to the penalty box.
4 point scoring pass for Lurs Lemon. And a track cut penalty leveled against Spring Roll. Power jam now for the high rollers.
Big Bang Fury also picking up a penalty. They're just going to put another blocker down for the high rollers.
Whistles aplenty in the front straightaway, and we have another one there. Minstrel Psycho now being whistled for a direction of play infraction.
Beautiful work by the high rollers on that pass. They blocked down everybody on the inside, made it easy to get past on the out.
That was Diana Hitcha working with Brute out there for the high rollers. This jam has had a little bit of everything. Spring roll out of the penalty box through the pack. 4 point scoring pass for the Betties.
Wow, both teams right now have 12 points on the board, and we're still going. Spring Roll doing a great job coming in, picks up 3 points for that effort. They got through so quick to get those points.
2 minutes in that jam, 15 points for each squad.
Woo! Wow, that was some derby. But don't forget, fans, now that you're thirsty after watching all this awesome derby, head down to the bar, get yourself some Underwood wine, perhaps a Ninkasi beer, or maybe a damn fine cider from Two Town Cider. Check it out down at the bar.
102-68 your score. High rollers with the advantage as they send Nuga Knockout to jam opposite Carl for the Breakneck Betties.
Wow, Carl getting escorted out of bounds. Dakota Evans dragging them back. Almost out of play, but not quite. Excellent pack work by both of these teams staying together.
Nice job by Smelter Skelter keeping Nuga Knockout contained.
Out of play infraction being assessed. That's going to put Pixie also in the penalty box with Minstrel Psycho.
4-2 pack advantage for the Betties, but it's Nuga Knockout through the pack first. Carl giving up about a quarter of the track. High rollers are going to push this to get their blockers out of the penalty box, it looks like.
Nice work by Nuga Knockout, tiptoeing around turn 3, picking up all 4 of them points.
Betty's offense on the outside contains 4 point scoring pass for Carl.
This jam comes to an end, and 6 points being picked up by the high rollers. But Breakneck Betties also picking up 4. We've got a game right now, 108-72.
Hey, we'd like to thank a couple more of our sponsors. Red Bull gives you wings, 187 Killer Pads, and Lemon Designs. Thank you all so much.
And fans, one last reminder as we are nearing halftime, get those raffle tickets. They are $1 a piece, 10 for $5, or the height of someone you know for $20. Polywana Cracker quickly through the pack, lead jammer high rollers.
Polywana Cracker having a very successful night as a jammer. Direction of play penalty going to be assessed against Toxic Haste.
Polywana Cracker low to the outside. We've seen this record before. 4-point scoring pass for the High Rollers.
And that's going to be Beyond Thunderdame taking the cap and getting out. Polywana Cracker says, nope, I've got my points. I'm calling it down. 8 points on the board for the High Rollers in that jam.
Looks like we've got just enough time on the clock for one more jam this half. So in Jam 22, it'll be Tenacity jamming for the Breakneck Betties opposite Lurs Lemon, and Tenacity through the pack first for lead jammer, and a track cut on Tenacity. Or excuse me, on Lurs Lemon.
Yeah, I think they actually changed it to Blink changed it to a back block penalty. Either way. Whoa! Oh, I was about to say that was an amazing little jump. Brute really wanted to hold down that inside line. Brute missed him the first time Tenacity came through there, but picked him up that time.
So Tenacity dropping the toe stop on the inside, gets a track cut call, and Lurs Lemon now out of the penalty box and through the pack, clear on the initial pass.
And that was a brutal hit laid down by Poundstooth, trying to knock Lurs Lemon out of bounds. Somehow they stayed on their feet.
Big hit in the backfield there by Toxic Haste. And a forearm penalty will send Toxic Haste to the penalty box.
Brute up there trying to play a little bit of offense. Makes it easy for Lurs Lemon as that's another scoring pass, picking up 4 more points.
Tenacity struggling against the High Rollers defense in the backfield. Brute with the exit hit to the inside.
Oh, how in the world? Pixie was right there, but somehow Brute just did a little spin, got on out. That's 4 points.
Lurs Lemon clears the pack on a 4-point scoring pass for the High Rollers. And Tenacity answers with 4 points for the Betties.
Oh, and a cut track that's going to be called on Gin Giraffe. 4 more points being picked up by Lurs Lemon. And this jam comes to an end. We roll into intermission with a score of 128 for the High Rollers, 82 for the Breakneck Betties.
Fans, stick around. We've got the second half of action coming up in less than 15 minutes. And make sure you get those raffle tickets. That raffle's coming up in probably about 7 minutes.
All right, my lucky folks, we've got a great little halftime contest for you. We are going to have dancing for drinks. So how this is going to work is we're going to be playing a song. When the DJ will stop the song at random times. When that song stops, my dancers have to stop. If they don't and they keep moving for even a fraction of a second, my dice are going to call them out and kick them off the court. Whoever I've got left at the end of the dancing, they will be my lucky winners. So I've got some cool dice out here. These are some junior skaters I got. I'm going to introduce each one of them. And what was your name?
Lucky Harms.
Lucky Hearts.
Scar.
What was that again?
Scar.
Scar.
Bunny. Cat. Flower Puff Girl or Pluff?
Power Bluff Girl. All right. So I've got some pretty stringent judges who are not going to let anybody get away with it. Let's get my dancers out here right now. Come on out. All right, you guys spread around. Get around them. So I need, hey, get one up over here. Get one over here. Hey, there you go. All right, you guys, you are center stage quite literally. Daniel Slate Lewis, do you got some bumping jams for me? Now remember, when the music stops, you have to stop. Otherwise, my dice are going to 86 you. Hey, yeah, you're out of there. Go ahead, Daniel. Come on, you guys, you got to cheer them on. Dice. Oh, oh, oh. Go point her out. Go point him out. Right there, you're out of there. Oh, that one too? Oh, you're out of here. Nope. Hit the bricks. Yep. All right, scoot in. Scoot in. Ooh. All right, keep it going. Wow. Oh, wait, I got a finger pointer. Which one was it? Come here. Come here. Point it out. Which one? In the middle? In the middle? Oh, you're out of here. I'm sorry. All right, Daniel Slay. Oh, no. Let's get. Hold up. All right. I want you guys to spread out. I want you to get your best grooves right now. I mean, I want you to throw it all down right now. Daniel Slay, you got the biggest, boomingest song you got? I want them to really get down and funky right now. Crowd, I need you to cheer them on right now. Come on now. Let's go. And then I want you to judge them while they're dancing. No, I'm joking. Ready? Go. Damn. Is that what's going on? Did he just lose? Let's have one more round. I want to see. All right, get up. Keep going. Where's my cheering section? Oh, sorry, buddy. We've got our big winner right here. All right, she's drinking on Rose City tonight for getting out here and shaking it. Thank you very much. What was your name?
Afton.
What was that again?
Afton.
Afton. There you go. You've got yourself a couple drinks. Go enjoy. All right, folks, we've got the raffle coming up in here just a few short minutes. If you have not got your raffle tickets, the clock is ticking and I will be picking. So get them in and we will be handing out a prize here in just a few short minutes. All right, everybody, it's time to get them raffle tickets out. So, we've got a fantastic raffle basket, which includes gift certificates for Slappy Cakes, a Nike backpack, Laurelhurst gift cards, a Nike water bottle, a green blanket, Suzuki medallion, Perfect Drink Pro Cocktail Scale, and Piddleton wool slippers. And all of this is valued at over $350. Get your raffle tickets out now. I am drawing my lucky winner. And all right. Sorry about that. And my lucky winner is 797-694. 797-694. Anyone? Bueller? If you are not here, you do not win. One more time, 797-694. All right, there he is. All right, let's check out your ticket. Come on over here, sir. That's my ticket right there. Thank you very much for supporting Rose City Rollers tonight. You can have the rest of those. Cool. This is for you. All right, thanks again. We're going to get this game started in just a minute, so if you didn't get your beer and your nachos, Go do that now. We'll talk to you in a minute.
All right, Derby fans, before we get the second half underway, just a quick rundown on the penalties. In the first half, the High Rollers picked up 20 penalties. Pixie with 4, Big Bang Fury with 4. Breakneck Betties picked up 25 penalties in the first half. Toxic Haste with 5, Gingeraf and Spring Roll each with 4. And Danger Potatoes' 16-point jam was a season high for the Betties Jammer in the first half, so congratulations, Danger Potato. "30 minutes left in this game, and we're about to start the second half with Polywana Cracker jamming for the High Rollers.
Dang. Dakota Evans leveling Carl in turn 1. That is all.
Carl has recovered, though, clear on the initial pass for the Betties. Nice job by Tenacity on the exit hit of Polywana Cracker.
Again, Carl just walloping Carl when they come in. Dakota Evans just not having any part of that. Beautiful knockout there in turn 1. Polywana Cracker having to go back and start again.
Polywana Cracker getting recycled again. Carl working against the front of the pack. Squeezes by on the outside of turn 2. 4-point scoring pass, Breakneck Betties.
This jam comes to an end. 4 points being put on the board for the, 4 more points being put on the board for the High Rollers. We had a score of 132-86.
Full pack for both teams to start this jam. Lurs Lemon jamming opposite Spring Roll.
Lurs Lemon trying to find a hole on the inside line. Your mom's favorite, dropping them. Ends up in the middle of the pack.
Pack now just crossing the pivot line, entering turn 1.
Spring Roll up against Ebenezer Bruce. Oh, but managed to slip by. Luckily, Mayday was there to lend a hand.
Nice cycling up by the High Rollers defense. Looks like both jammers being forced to go their own.
Yeah, Toxic Haze tried to come in and open things up. Ebenezer Bruce ended up in a pile with Spring Roll.
Direction of play penalty beyond Thunder Dame to the penalty box for the Betties.
Forearm penalty, that's going to be assessed out there. And either way, what happens, Lurs Lemon finally gets out the other side just under a minute. And just your lead jammer.
Spring Roll to the penalty box for the Betties. That makes this a power jam for the High Rollers. Lurs Lemon pirouettes through the pack for 4 points.
Wow, what a nice move right there in a power jam. And quickly, Lurs Lemon does a spin out of the top of that apex between 3 and 4 to get out picking those 4 points.
Bleeda Kahlo does get in an exit hit.
Spring Roll with a nice cap pass beyond Thunder Dame, ends up with the cap, decides to stop and play against Lurs Lemon. May have not, ooh, it panned out. I saw Big Bang Fury creep up there. That could have ended very bad for Beyond Thunder Dame.
Speedy transition by the pack along the far straightaway. Jam called off. 12 points picked up by the High Rollers.
The largest selection of new and used autos in the Pacific Northwest is only a click away at Tonkin.com. Thinking about buying a car from a Tonkin dealership? Be sure to tell them that your good friends at Rose City sent you.
Assassin out there on the line for the High Rollers.
Danger Potato jamming once again for the Breakneck Betties. And Danger Potato through the pack first. Lead jammer goes to the Betties. Nice job by Tenacity in the backfield, recycling Assassin.
Danger Potato having a fantastic evening as a jammer. And still, Assassin stuck in the pack, but as I say that, they get out on their initial pass.
Looks like Brute to the penalty box on a direction of play penalty, and now a forearm being whistled in the far straightaway.
All 4 points being picked up by Danger Potato as they exit the pack in the straightaway and calls off this jam.
That was Pixie picking up the forearm penalty at the end of that jam. To Furious.
Hey, we'd like to shout out to Nightlight Lounge, Rose City's sponsor since day one, and a fantastic spot for food, drinks, and a fantastic patio. That's our good
Fantastic.
friends over at Nightlight Lounge.
I like the nightlight. I like the boogie.
There you go.
4-2 pack advantage for the Betties to start, but it's Polywana Cracker through the pack first. Lead jammer goes to the High Rollers.
Yeah, that was beautiful work. Dinah Hitcha was trying to slow it down, Carl, and had some offense, though, come from the Betties to help them get out.
Toxic Haste, nice defense in the backfield. That was an exit hit on Polywana Cracker. Meanwhile, Carl pushing out the defense up front.
Wow, that was a great wall, even though there was only 2 of them. Big Bang Fury and Dinah Hitcha not letting Carl get through very easy.
4 points scored by each jammer. Pack in speedy transition through the front straightaway.
We would like to thank a couple more of our sponsors, Charlene Quaresma Financial Advisor and Sisu Mouthguards.
Lures Lemon out there again, going up against Tenacity. We do have all blockers out on the track, so it'll be 4-on-4 in the blocking war.
Pack back to the jam line as this jam gets underway. Tenacity off the line first.
Lures Lemon somehow stayed in bound with a matrix move. Poundstooth and Ginger Giraffe up front. They're trying to muscle them out of bounds, but Lures Lemon just brutally staying in bounds.
Crash offense coming from the outside to the end, courtesy of Mayday. But it's Tenacity around the outside. Lead jammer goes to the Breakneck Betties.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful defense being set up by the Breakneck Betties.
And a nice apex skip by Tenacity. 4-point scoring pass, and now a power jam.
And it looks like Lures Lemon picked up a penalty. Tenacity is in a power jam, and Tenacity is on a scoring frenzy.
8 points in the bank so far for the Betties this jam. Tenacity to the outside once again, this time not to the outside of the far straightaway.
Ebenezer Brews doing a nice job holding down that line and not letting Tenacity get through.
Tenacity picks up 4 more points and calls off the jam. 12-point jam for the Betties.
Well, that was a hot jam right there,
Yeah.
guys. That reminds me, the local flavor that kicks you right in the mouth, aardvark sauce.
Secrets in the sauce.
Secrets in the sauce.
Yes, it is.
Like Tenacity had some spicy sauce on that last one.
Wow, I'm liking this right now. 12 points being picked up, 42 points separating these two teams. Spring roll on the line. Spring roll's your lead jammer.
Containment and distraction offense by the Breakneck Betties get spring roll through quickly.
Wow, they are trying to hold Brute down as a goat. Brute is not going to be easy to go.
Brute to the penalty box on a track cut penalty.
4
And
points being picked up by a spring roll on that last pass.
Going to be joined by Toxic Haste on a high block penalty for the Breakneck Betties.
Lures Lemon is out on their initial pass. Spring roll, though, gets through, picks up 8 points, and calls off the jam.
And a track cut penalty being whistled late down in turn 2. Looks like that is going against the High Rollers as well.
We're going to have a timeout. The High Rollers not liking this sudden momentum. But, you know, the Breakneck Betties, they are, at least in my experience, they seem to always have that second half surge where they come out and they realize, hey, we're close, but we're down, and then they just plow their way back into this game, kind of like they are now.
Hey, don't forget this timeout being brought to you this evening by Trailhead Credit Union, home of the 3% checking account. Check out our friends over at Trailhead Credit Union.
So that was the High Rollers' second team timeout. They have one more team timeout for the remainder of the bout. Betty's still sitting on 2. They took one in the first half there.
Hey, Derby fans, don't forget to check out our new swag over at the merch booth area. They look like they're waiting for your attention. Come on over and buy some new stuff. Got all kinds of new beanies, soccer scarves, t-shirts galore. Check out our merch booth.
34 points now separating these two teams. Carl is going to go out there with the star and jam in this next one for the Breakneck Betties. Don't forget the High Rollers going to be down 2 blockers. Ooh, I like what they're doing, but they're going to put out Big Bang Fury and Dakota Evans. Polywana Cracker also out there with a star for the High Rollers.
Polywana Cracker not having any sort of slouch of an evening either for the High Rollers.
Oh, no.
Active defense to start, but Polywana Cracker drops the toe stop out of bounds. Track cut penalty. Carl is your lead jammer for the Breakneck Betties.
Wow, this is exactly the break the Breakneck Betties were looking for.
Oh! Low block penalty being whistled against Carl.
All right, and with that, Polywana Cracker has served their time, and they are on the run.
Pack entrenched in turn 2 on the exit. Tenacity with the exit hit, tries the recycle. Toxic Haste now skating back.
Yes, they did. Almost caught him, too. Toxic Haste, been around a while and very wily.
Ooh! Big hit drops Polywana Cracker. Quick on the rebound, though. Back up and on skates. Clear on the initial pass for the High Rollers.
Mike checks. I'm really glad they got up. That was a ugly-looking fall, and they just seemed to bounce right out of it. Nice hit on the outside. Toxic Haste taking out Polywana Cracker and dragging him back in the straightaway.
Carl having to deal with the brace 2-all up front. Pack now constricting in the second apex.
This is beautiful defense being played right now by the High Rollers. Brute did a great job of holding down.
Ginger Aff had cycled up to play offense. A track cut penalty now whistled against Carl. Power jam once again for Polywana Cracker.
Wow, that was some intense defense holding down Carl, and somehow they were able to draw that cut.
Polywana Cracker escorted to the outside. Tenacity on the drawback. Betty's stretch it out. And that 2-minute jam comes to its end.
Wow, Polywana Cracker just wanted out of that one at that point. What do you got, sir?
Hey, we'd like to welcome our friends from Medio this evening and also our group from New West Technologies. Thank you all for coming out this evening and joining us for Roller Derby.
33 points now separate these teams. We've got just under 20 minutes left in this game. And we're going to see Lurs Lemon out there all by them lonesome in a power jam.
Nice job of defense there by Smelter Skelter.
Multiplayer block is going to send Pounds 2 to the penalty box.
Lurs Lemon clears the pack. Lead jammer going to the High Rollers. And a very nice star pass there to Ginger Aff for the Betties.
That was perfectly placed. Very strong move by Lurs Lemon coming in. Oh, and a track cut by Lurs Lemon. This is definitely not what they were hoping for. The High Rollers now giving up another power jam to the Breakneck Betties. This is going to go the full 2 minutes. As you know, there was a star pass. Ginger Aff now has a star. Lurs Lemon is in the penalty box.
And more importantly to point out, Ginger Aff now has the star securely fastened to the helmet.
Did look precarious there for a moment.
Indeed. So Giraffe fighting against the defense at the front of the pack. Poundstooth up to play offense. Betty's blockers ready for the re-entry of Lurs Lemon.
Carl with a nice bump out on Lurs Lemon. Giraffe getting stuck on that outside wall. Big Bang Fury taking them out. They're going to drag back Giraffe. Carl picking up a penalty as a blocker.
Lurs Lemon stays in bounds and clears on a 4-point scoring pass for the High Rollers. Direction of play penalty leveled against Smelter Skelter for the Betties. Lures Lemon into the pack on another scoring pass for the High Rollers.
Nice move by Lurs Lemon. Did get out, picked up another 4 points. 4 points is going to be awarded to Giraffe on that last jam.
Hey, the Breakneck Betties would like to thank their sponsors, Kelly's Olympian and Rivet Athletic Club. Once again, the Betties would like to thank Kelly's Olympian and Rivet Athletic Club.
Big pack advantage for the High Rollers to start this jam as Nuga knockout clears the pack. First lead jammer goes to the High Rollers.
Danger Potato stuck behind that green wall, and here comes the offense from all sides. Breakneck Betty swarming.
Betty's offense couldn't quite get Danger Potato through the pack as Nuga knockout through the pack, but a forearm penalty. And that puts Danger Potato in a power jam.
And I do believe we're going to go the full 2 minutes once again.
We are.
Wow. I don't know how Danger Potato stayed in bounds, but they managed to make it through turn 3 to the apex. High Rollers do regroup, though.
High Rollers on the big recycle.
Oh, out of play call.
That's going to go against Pixie for the High Rollers. Danger Potato back into the pack. Brute back out front.
Wow. Brute has just got so much control on those skates and is not someone you want to mess with defensively.
Sadly, as a jammer, Brute, unfortunately, is everywhere you don't want her to be.
Oh, yeah. Brute with a head of steam is a scoring machine.
Nuga knockout going up against a brace 2 wall at the front of the pack by the Breakneck Betties.
I do want to point out the penalty kill as Nuga knockout is back on the track, and Danger Potato is still stuck in that little green wall there.
Direction of play penalty. That against Beyond Thunder Dame as Nuga knockout clears on another 4-point scoring pass.
Nuga knockout is back in this pack, and she's dragging the Breakneck Betty's wall with them, and this jam does come to an end. 3 points being picked up at the end of that to already add to the existing 4 that they had. High Rollers seems to have regained their footing, and they are now up 166 to 122.
The High Rollers would like to thank their special sponsors, Laurelhurst Movie Theater, Upswept Creative, and Left Turn Clothing.
Team timeout being called by the Breakneck Betties.
All timeouts this evening being brought to you by Trailhead Credit Union. Don't forget our friends over at Trailhead Credit Union, home of the 3% interest checking account.
Friends, can we get a round of applause once again for our DJ tonight? Daniel Slay Lewis has been killing it this evening.
Ah, yeah.
Woo. Four 3-pack advantage for the High Rollers to start this jam as they send out Polywana Cracker opposite Tenacity. And it's Tenacity through quickly. Lead jammer for the Betties.
But in hot pursuit, Polywana Cracker also got out on their initial pass. Oh. Look how fast this pack is going.
Is running.
Yeah. Well, this is what endurance is for. They're all out on a full sprint. I think, yep, Tenacity did get in, finally got Mayday's point, and they went ahead and called this jam off. A lot of exercise there for 1 point.
Cardio at the end of the night here. Laurelhurst Theater and Pub bringing the best of classic and modern cinema to Portland. That's Laurelhurst Theater and Pub.
Oh, yeah, they were just seeing who the heck showed up for endurance practice last week is what they were doing.
Both teams at full strength to start this jam. Spring Roll wearing the star for the Breakneck Betties. Lures Lemon jamming for the High Rollers and is your lead jammer.
Brute picking up a direction to play penalty. That's going to put one blocker down for the High Rollers. Well, play comes to an end here. They're going to go ahead and take a
Looks like everybody was okay at the end of that last jam.
I certainly hope so. Looks like Assassin's down on the track. Tenacity is also going to be out there with stars on their helmets in this next jam. It's going to be a 3-on-3 pack.
All right, we've got the okay and play can resume.
Tenacity trying to take the outside. Oh, and Assassin ends up following, quickly gets out and becomes your lead jammer.
Tenacity spins around the defense at the front of the pack and clears on the initial, giving up about half the track.
Wow. Tenacity got up a little tender. Might have got the wind knocked out of them, but that's all right. We are going to continue play on that one.
Just 5 minutes to burgers, beer, and bottomless fries. Check out our friends at Killer Burger.
Yummy. Danger Potato is out there with the star on their helmet going up against Polywana Cracker. Polywana Cracker got escorted out on the inside line.
Danger Potato escapes the pack first. Lead jammer, Breakneck Betties.
Nice little bit of offense coming by the High Rollers. Oh, wow. Yep, stayed in balance. Polywana Crackers out on their initial pass.
Nice offense down in turn 2 by Bleeda Kahlo. Danger Potato clears, picks up 4 points and calls off the jam for the Betties.
Now those weren't regular 4 points. Those were 4 points well earned. Danger Potato was bouncing on their toe stops, and I don't know how many bounces they got out of them, but that was more exercise than I could probably do in a year.
We'd like to thank a couple more sponsors. Voodoo Donuts, the magic is in the hole. And Naomi's Organic Farm Supply. Thank you guys for being sponsors.
11 and a half minutes left in this game. We've got a score of 170 to 127. Spring Roll is down on the line, trying to fight past that wall of green.
Betty's blocker cycling up front, but it's Lures Lemon clearing the pack first. Lead jammer goes to the High Rollers.
Spring Roll right now trying to insist to go through the middle, finds an opening though on the inside and finally gets out on their initial pass.
Betty's defense set up in the back of the pack now cycles forward. Big hit on the Lures Lemon.
Wow, Tenacity, yeah, put a big hit on Lures Lemon. Lures Lemon got up a little bit slow. It was definitely, she went down and somebody should have yelled timber.
3 points picked up by each jammer in that jam.
Nuga Knockout's going to be out there going up against Carl as your jammers in this next jam. Nobody in the penalty box as a good sign.
And Carl on the outside of the front straightaway, quickly jammer for the Breakneck Betties.
Nuga Knockout tried to take that inside, and Beyond Thunder Dame would not let them pass.
Toxic Haste playing offense and defense. Carl threw for 4 points.
That was amazing. I don't know how many people saw that, but wow.
Yeah, doubly amazing given that Toxic Haste doing that on 6 penalties.
This jam comes to an end. 4 points being picked up by, let me correct that. 6 points being picked up by the Breakneck Betties. We got a score of 173-136.
Hey fans, haven't had enough of this awesome derby action. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night when the undefeated Guns and Rollers will meet up with the Heartless Heathers right here at the Hangar. Once again, that's tomorrow night right here at the Hangar. Join us for some more awesome roller derby.
Polywana Cracker and Danger Potato are your jammers in this next jam.
Betty's still completely within striking distance here, just 37 points separating these teams. Danger Potato forced to the inside.
Wow. The lateral movement of Polywana Cracker is just phenomenal. Really picking up their game.
And it's Danger Potato picking up lead jammer for the Breakneck Betties.
That's exactly what the Breakneck Betties need at this time in the game. They have just under 9 minutes, and they've got a lot of points to score. Ooh. Danger Potato losing their footing. I do believe that looks like Polywana Cracker headed to the penalty box.
On a low block penalty. Power jam now for Danger Potato and the Betties. Inverse offense coming from the front for the Betties. Danger Potato calling off the jam after picking up 3 points. Betty's going to reset with a power start.
I like that. Big Bang Fury hit that knockout and was trying to insist everybody come and bridge back to try and waste as much time to kill that penalty. Spring roll, that's going to be your jammer out there in this power jam. Beautiful move to get out so quick.
Betty's bringing offense from the inside and the outside, helping clear spring roll on that initial pass.
Spring roll with a nice move, taking people out. Toxic Haste playing a little bit of offense. Managed to somehow to get past Brute and comes out the other side of the straightaway, picking up those 4 points.
Beyond Thunder Dame, nice job on offense, but that allows Polywana Cracker out of the penalty box and through the pack quickly, clearing on a scoring pass for the High Rollers.
Oh,
ouch.
Wow.
Ouch.
Brute with a brutal hit.
That was painful looking.
That had to knock the wind out of Spring Roll. Either way, Spring Roll picks up 1 point. That is going to put them within 29 of the High Rollers.
Hey, Derby fans, know a business that would benefit by promoting a Derby event and to Rose City members? Email sponsorship at rosecityrollers.com or check out our sponsorship info on rosecityrollers.com.
Betties have trimmed the lead to 29 now as they send Carl back out to jam opposite Kassassin.
Kassassin right now trying to get around, but they are playing 4-on defense. So all 4 of those Betties are not letting Kassassin go anywhere.
Diana Hitcher to the penalty box for the High Rollers, and Carl through the pack. Lead jammer, Breakneck Betties.
Wow, this is getting interesting. 4-arm penalty, though. That's going to put Tenacity in the penalty box.
Kassassin round the outside, clear on the initial pass for the High Rollers. Carl working on a scoring pass for the Betties.
Wow, Kassassin had an open lane and a full head of steam, but luckily Breakneck Betty saw it, called it off, picked up all 4 of those points. And look at us now. This is a 25-point game with just under 6 minutes. Timeout.
All right.
High Rollers are calling a timeout.
All right, fans, this timeout being brought to you by Trailhead Credit Union. Also, attention Derby fans, we have a lost credit card that we found It is a blue sapphire preferred card from Mason Boucher. Be sure to check out your card down at the front entrance. We'll have it down there for you.
It looks like this is actually an official review being called by the High Rollers.
Interesting. Well, when they are done doing their review, both pivots will be sitting in the penalty box, so it'll be 3-on-3 out there with the blockers.
High Rollers are looking for an upgrade to the forearm penalty to expulsion on the Betties blocker.
Interesting. So the High Rollers are looking to take out one of the Betties players for a vicious block. Let's see how this goes.
Well, it gives me an opportunity to remind you all that the largest selection of new and used autos in the Pacific Northwest is only a click away at Tonkin.com. We love our friends at Tonkin.
Well, fans, remember, Rose City Rollers do have recycling programs here, so as you are leaving, please be placing your recyclings in the boxes by the door. Thank you.
Upon review, we did issue the forearm penalty. We do not believe it met the metric of an expulsion-worthy forearm. Therefore, the High Rollers will not retain their official review for the second half.
Interesting. All right. Play will remain as it was and how it shall be. We're going to get this next jam going out there. That you will see Danger Potato and Nougat Knockout.
3-on-3 in the pack to start, and the pack starts in transition.
Excellent move to hold back Danger Potato. Forearm penalty is going to be called on your mom's favorite.
Nougat Knockout did get recycled, though. Pat gummed up at the exit to the first apex. Forearm penalty. That's going against Dakota Evans.
And just like that, Nougat Knockout finally had to work around Tenacity, got out of the track, and they're your lead jammer.
Star pass to Tenacity in the breakneck Betties. Nougat Knockout being held back by Toxic Haste at the front of the pack. Oh! Wow. Nougat Knockout clears on a 4-point scoring pass. Tenacity wasn't sure whether there was going to be a penalty called or not.
Yeah, at this point it's always better to get through and know it. There's 4 points being picked up by Tenacity on this. 2 more points going to be picked up by Nougat Knockout, so that's going to bring this difference back up to 27. Hey, we're going to have a timeout by the Breakneck Betties. Wise move with 4.5 minutes basically left in this game.
Now, fans, that is the Betties' last team timeout, but they still have their official review. An official review, of course, can be used as an official review, or if the Betties so desire, they can use that official review as an additional team timeout should they choose to. So High Rollers with 1 team timeout, no official review. Betties still with 1 official review, but no more team timeouts.
Oh, and we'd be remiss to remind you that the timeouts are being brought to you this evening by Trailhead Credit Union, home of a 3% checking account. Check out our friends over at Trailhead Credit Union.
Penalties racking up for both of these teams right now. Betties have got 3 skaters with 5 and 1 with 6. High Rollers have got 1 with 5 and 1 with 6.
Well, they're going to put Polly Wanna Cracker back out there going up against Tenacity. Cracker on the season is 48% with lead jammer status, so it's a wise move.
Direction of play penalty being whistled. Cracker through the pack. Lead jammer goes to the High Rollers.
Well, Tenacity does finally get through on the outside on their initial pass.
Poundstooth with the exit hit on Cracker. Forearm penalty leveled against Poundstooth. Tenacity on one skate, 4-point scoring pass, breakneck Betties.
Wow, Ebenezer Brews out there says you shall not pass on the outside. No points being assessed for Tenacity on that last pass. So it was a 4-4 push. Just under 4 minutes.
Firanerias and Smelter Skelter with the amazing containment defense by the Betties at the end of that jam.
This is a good call-off right now. I like it. You've got Lurs Lemon on the line. There's 2 blockers down for the Breakneck Betties. Lurs Lemon, 59% lead jammer ratio when she's in the game.
Escorted to the outside, and it looks like Carl is clear on the initial pass. Lurs Lemon has been declared lead jammer.
I like it. Get through, call it off. We got another 30 seconds to the next jam. That's how you kill that clock.
Hey, we'd like to thank a couple more of our sponsors. Porque No Taqueria, the Portland Mercury, Cedar and Moss Lighting. Thank you all so much for being awesome sponsors for Rose City Rollers.
Oh, absolutely. Porque, yes.
Porque, yes.
Jam number 22 underway. Danger Potato jamming for the Betties opposite Kassassin. Kassassin through the pack first for lead.
Kassassin's so very impressive. Danger Potato finally makes it out on their initial pass, but they've got some ground to make up. And look at how fast this pack is going.
Pack's a little strung out here and going very, very quickly. Nice positional blocking by Poundstooth in the backfield.
Especially going that fast with a jammer on your tail. That's there you go. Look at that. Now we're down to 2 minutes. This jam just gets called off.
Still just 29 points difference between the two teams, but we are now inside 2 minutes left in this game. Betty's really holding the High Rollers' wheels to the fire right now.
Cracker going up against Carl. Cracker pops out. Oh, and look at that. Cracker's your lead jammer.
Brute again on offense up front. Helps Cracker clear on that initial. Carl also clear on the initial, giving up a little less than a half track.
Cracker comes in and gets a bump. Oh, no. Cracker gets a back block penalty. This is going to put Carl in a power jam. The Breakneck Betties totally needed this right now.
Oh, there they go.
Carl threw on a 4-point scoring pass. Looks like toxic haste to the penalty box for the Breakneck Betties. I believe that's Haste's 7th penalty.
The way the High Rollers block, they do this drift back thing and try to lock the person in so they only have a part of a track to work with.
Carl threw for another 4 points. Cracker out of the penalty box and threw for 4 for the High Rollers.
Wow, Cracker's so incredibly quick. Gets through, picks up another 4 points on that outside.
Fans, get up and on your feet. This is going to be your last jam for these teams.
Your mom's favorite with a nice little pop out. Cracker getting drugged back.
Carl pushing against the defense at the front of the pack. But it's Cracker through for 4.
Carl finds an opening, does make an exit, and picks up 4 points of their own.
Cracker low into the outside once again. 4 more points for the High Rollers. Ooh.
Wow. Carl with a big leveling hit on the outside, and we have an unofficial score as this jam comes to an end. Game over. 201-169 is what we are on right now.
And fans, that is our final score tonight. High Rollers 201, Breakneck Betties 169. Make sure you stick around for the MVP presentations and give the skaters a high five. Oh, no, we're not doing that tonight. Sorry. Yeah, my bad. Jazz hands.
All right, everybody, we're not doing the skate around tonight. We're just doing a friendly wave. But we will have our black blocker and jammer MVPs that we will be awarding. So we do have a final score, 201-169. High Rollers pulling off the win tonight in this epic game. I'm being joined with Jen Giraffe. Do we have our blocker and jammer MVPs?
Yes. So we would like to give the MVP blocker to Brute.
Brute as MVP blocker. Wow, that's fantastic.
And we would like to give our MVP jammer to Molly Polly.
Excellent. All right. Lurs Living and Big Bang Fury. I've got, who is our blocker MVP?
Our blocker is Dame.
Thunder Dame, MVP blocker. And jammer.
Carl.
Carl! Well, folks, I appreciate each and every one of you coming out and joining us this evening. We had a fantastic game, and I'm glad you were here to experience it live. I also want to give a big shout-out before we leave to all of our volunteers that helped make it happen. I do appreciate all of you in the yellow shirts coming out and making this wonderful event happen. Everybody drive safe on your way home, and we'll see you next game. Have a great night. Thank you very much.